How did Bryson flip his image without becoming boring? And why might it be the most successful image turnaround modern golf has ever seen? Because the version of Bryson we have now didn't happen by accident, it was calculated. When Bryson first showed up on tour, he was definitely no normal rookie. Most guys try to fit in at first. Bryson did the opposite. He brought the same length irons, the numbers, the whole engineer brain vibe, and he talked about golf like it was a math problem you could solve. The thing is, he had the game to back it up. Early on, he wasn't just weird, he was winning. But golf has this quiet rule. It likes you to fit in, not be different. Bryson was far from fitting in. He explained every little detail, questioned, corrected, and pushed against tradition. At first, Bryson's quirks felt harmless, but eventually, they caught up with him. Pace of play became the first real crack in his image. Not because golf fans are suddenly time management experts. It's just, when one guy is standing over a shot forever, everyone notices. Bryson could turn a simple 7-iron into a full investigation. Wind, slope, numbers, a quick chat with the caddy, and then another look. Fans got restless, commentators got a little sharp, and other players clearly got annoyed. And Bryson's attitude didn't smooth it over either. When things went wrong, he sounded defensive. When things went right, he sounded like he was explaining the test results. To him, that was normal. To everyone else, it started to feel like he always needed to win the argument. And then Bryson's perfect rival showed up. The kind of guy who doesn't even need to say much. One eye roll does the job. Enter Brooks Koepka. Brooks was the anti-Bryson. No calculations, no explanations, play-by-feel guy. And in August 2019 at the Northern Trust, the tension finally went public. Bryson took so long over a short putt that it became a whole thing on broadcast. Later, Brooks Koepka publicly criticized the pace, saying, "I just don't understand how it takes 1 minute and 20 seconds to hit a golf ball. It's not that hard." The tension between Bryson and Koepka escalated into a full-blown feud. A leaked video of Koepka rolling his eyes while Bryson walked by during an interview also went viral, adding to the drama and starting meme wars online. Fans started heckling Bryson by calling him Brooksy during matches. It got so out of hand that the PGA Tour had to step in and warn fans against using the chant. At that point, Bryson's image wasn't neutral, to say the least. He was not just the quirky scientist. He had become the guy people paid to see, whether it was to cheer or to watch him lose. And just when it felt like Bryson couldn't possibly lean into the chaos any harder, he decided to reinvent his entire body. Late 2019 and 2020, Bryson didn't just make a few swing tweaks. He decided he was going to build a different version of himself. He put on a lot of muscle and became bulky in a short window, and he wasn't shy about why. The plan was pretty direct: more strength, more club head speed, more ball speed. He wanted to turn the driver into a weapon. That sounds normal in a sport like football, but in golf, it was unheard of. And it wasn't just that he gained weight, it was how extreme he made the whole thing feel. The workouts, the eating, the constant talk about speed and numbers. People weren't sure if they were watching a genuine breakthrough or a guy trying to outsmart the sport. But even the skeptics had to admit one thing: it seemed to work. The ball was coming off his club different. He started flying it over corners most guys didn't even try to cut. Par 5s suddenly looked like par 4s on paper, and it wasn't just wild speed, it was speed he could actually aim. Justin Thomas said it after watching him at the Travelers in 2020. It honestly was frustrating because he's hitting at 350 in the air and you could put a blanket over about half of them. That's what's unbelievable. People don't understand how hard it is to hit it that straight at that high speed. That's why it mattered at the US Open later that year. That place was set up to scare you into playing safe. But Bryson didn't do that. He basically said, I'm still gonna hit it as far as I can. I'm just gonna be smart about where. He missed fairways, sure, but he was hitting it so far off the tee that he was the only guy who finished the week under par. But here's the thing. In golf, winning doesn't automatically make people like you. By this point, Bryson wasn't being watched like a normal player. He was being watched like a character. And once you're in that box, people stop giving you the benefit of the doubt. If he got frustrated, it looked like entitlement. If he asked for relief, it looked like drama. It didn't help that Bryson wasn't exactly trying to soften his image. He had moments of genuine insight in interviews, but they were often overshadowed by other awkward and defensive things he said, like when he blamed a poor drive on his equipment after a disappointing round at the Open in 2021. He said, "The driver sucks," referring to his club. That comment didn't sit well with Cobra Golf, his sponsor at the time. In a rare public response, their tour operations manager fired back, saying, "It's just really painful when he says something that's stupid." And then he made the move that, for a lot of traditional fans, should have killed the comeback. He joined LIV Golf. This wasn't just changing tours. It felt like leaving the whole PGA Tour story behind. The tour suspended the guys who went, sponsors got awkward, and suddenly, Bryson wasn't on PGA broadcasts every week, even though he could still show up at majors. But in an unexpected twist of events, losing the old spotlight gave him something he didn't really have before: control. If the traditional golf world isn't handing you the microphone, you either fade out or you make your own. Bryson made his own stage. Bryson's YouTube channel is where the image actually started to flip. On a normal PGA broadcast, you mostly saw him at his tensest. So if you already thought he was annoying, TV gave you plenty of evidence. YouTube did the opposite. It showed the parts you never really got on Sundays. You see him on the range talking through what he's working on. You see the experiments, the club tests, the speed training. You also see the misses, the frustration, the reset. And sometimes you see him laugh at himself, which sounds small, but it slowly changes perception. It also let him control the tone. Instead of explaining things like he's defending himself, he explains them like he's bringing you into his lab. Here's what I'm trying. Here's why it might work. Here's what happened. That's real value for fans, because now you understand what makes him stick. He's still obsessive. He's still a lot. But it finally looks like curiosity and work ethic, not just drama. And the smartest part is he didn't try to become a different personality. He just showed more of who he truly is. But content alone doesn't reinvent your story. You still have to show up when it's time for the majors. This is where the image flip started to feel real, because for the first time in a while, Bryson wasn't just showing up in headlines, he was showing up in the tournament. At the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, he was right there on Sunday. He ended up tied for second, one shot back. And what was different was the vibe around him. The same crowd that used to needle him were clapping for shots. You could feel the respect coming back in real time. Then a month later came Pinehurst. The 2024 US Open wasn't just Bryson winning another major, it was how he won. In 2020 at Winged Foot, the win felt like a statement, him saying, "I'm going to overpower this course and prove everyone wrong." In 2024, it felt calmer, still intense, still Bryson, but less defensive. He didn't look like he's trying to win an argument with the crowd. He was just trying to hit the next shot. And when he closed it out, you could hear it. People weren't just impressed. They were actually happy for him. So what actually